Here at Unity of Aliso Viejo, we like to welcome you in the spirit of this ministry and greet you in the name of all that is beautiful and sacred, where we embrace all spiritual paths that teach love. Unity offers a positive path to spiritual living that helps to support people in expressing their divine potential for healthy, abundant, and meaningful lives. Unity welcomes people of every creed, color, ethnicity, age, socioeconomic background, sexual orientation, and people with disabilities. Unity leaves no one out. We also like to say that you are here not by accident, but by divine appointment, and we are so grateful that you kept your appointment with Spirit this morning.
Michael and I actually met in heaven. We were spirits together, and I wanted that voice. God had a coin. Here I am. Michael, in all honesty, you were so blessed, and I think you know that. That is unbelievable, and I bought a CD. In fact, she bought a CD. You have some songs on the one I bought, She Wants. So Kelly and I, 2 weeks from now, are swapping. I hope so. There's a destiny that makes us brothers and sisters. No one goes this way alone. All that we give into the lives of others comes back into our own. And I learned that from my father. I learned lots of things from my dad. The greatest gift I ever got came from God. I call him Dad. Dad taught me how to throw a baseball, how to throw a football. Dad taught me all those kinds of things. Dad also taught me he could use this belt on my when I was out of line. He taught me discipline, and he taught me respect, and he taught me how to love other people. I was a big hugger before I got to this church. My dad hugs everybody. I saw my dad last Thursday, at my grandson's graduation from junior high. And unfortunately, he's got great health. He's got the heart's working and all that stuff, but his memory's going. He repeated the same story 4 or 5 times. I see some noddings of heads. So some of you have some loved ones like that. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. But I constantly remember, and that's what today is about, is the remembrance of what these men did for all of us and what my dad did for me. Anyone can be a father. It takes a real man to be a daddy. Gary Singleton was a young man who loved football from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. For some of you college football fans out there like myself, you'll know Tuscaloosa. That's where the University of Alabama is. We liked it. Gary played football as a little child. Loved football. Just did everything to get on that field. Played Pop Warner as a little boy. Played high school football. He was good. He wasn't great. He was good. Tried to get into to Alabama. This is a time when the legendary coach Paul Bear Bryant was still alive. Vaughn's passing him. You knew Paul Bear. Yes, I know you did. And he tried to get in, but he was good, but he wasn't quite good enough, so he didn't get a scholarship, but he was a walk-on. And Paul Bear Bryant let him be on the taxi squad and let him do the practicing, but he would never play in the game. And the last week of their practice, on the Monday, when they were in practice, someone from the school came up to Mr. Bryant, handed him a note, and he asked Gary to come forward. And Gary came forward off the practice field and said, "Gary, I got some bad news. Your dad's passed away. You need to go spend the time with your family." Gary left, but on Saturday on game day, Gary showed up, dressing in uniform. Great motivation for the team. Paul Bear Bryant came in and said, "Gary, you don't have to play today. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to be here." He said, "No, Coach, I need to be here because I got to play today. I have got to play today." So coach said, well, we'll see. First quarter, nothing happened. Gary did not get in. Second quarter, he went up to Paul Bear Bryant again, asking him, begging him, please let me play, please let me play. I've got to play today. And he still didn't let him go in. They went to halftime or third quarter. Gary literally in his uniform with his helmet on, got on his hands and knees and begged Bear Bryant to let him get into that game. And he did. He got in the game. He played better than he had ever played in his life. Ran faster than he'd ever run before in his life. He hit people. He tackled people. He played beyond his physical capability that day. After it was over in the locker room, Bear Bryant came over to Gary and said, Gary, wow, you never played like that. What's the deal? He said, well, did you ever know my dad? He said, no, I never got a chance to meet your dad. I said, I would see you guys walking hand in hand, arm in arm in campus, but I never got a chance to meet your dad. He said, well, Coach, see, my dad was blind. Today was the first day my daddy got to see me play. I played today for my daddy. Those are the moments that we've had in our lives when all of us, to our dads and our moms, where we had that moment of pride that knew that our parents were proud of us. We're proud of what we had accomplished. And mine came in February of 1981. In May of that year, 1981, I was elected state president of the California Junior Chamber of Commerce. And prior to that, for 6 or 7 months, I'd run up and down this state, as this lovely lady knows, campaigning in small little towns all over this great state. There actually are small towns in this great state. I mean, small towns. I gave speeches to people in their houses with only 3 people in the room, and speeches in halls of several hundred people. Well, we got elected. We weren't supposed to get elected, but we did. And as Bonnie will attest, the very first thing I said after we got elected, what the hell are we supposed to do now? We didn't anticipate winning, but we won. Well, back to February in that year, we had done well. I was the 53rd state president of the California Junior Chamber of Commerce, and they had a parade of states, and the year prior they had finished 47th out of 50 states in competition and membership and how much money you'd raised and how much you'd done for your communities. Well, we were in the top 10, first time in years and years. So we were getting lots of accolades for what our team had done. So much so that the president of the United States JCs, Gib Garrow, who just tragically passed away several weeks ago, said, listen, you're doing so great, I'm going to come on in, put a thing together, and I'll talk to your troops. And he was coming in from Skiatook, Oklahoma. I decided, I'll tell you what, I'm going to use this as an incentive with all my district governors. Here's an incentive. Do this, 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 and this, and you'll get to host the president of the United States Junior Chamber of Commerce. Great. Rich Carlson wins. He puts it on. In February of that year, we show up at Universal Studios at the Hilton Hotel, and he rented this great big, huge banquet room. It had a 3-tiered platform. First tier was all my district governors. Second tier was all the vice presidents. And then Bonnie, myself, and Richard, and of course, Gib Garrow, the national president, up on this great big, huge platform. Rich is welcoming everybody, bringing everybody on board. And he makes reference to Rocky. That was the movie Rocky came out. It happened to be one of our theme songs. And all of a sudden, the back of this great big, huge banquet room opens up, and in marching is the USC marching band. I kid you not. I mean, it's just like, whoa. And they're playing Rocky. And they went through the whole place, remember? Went through the whole place, and finally subsided. And Rich now was to introduce me as I was going to be introducing the president. And he gave this overwhelming speech. What we learned, introduction, what we learned in JC's is an introduction is a small little speech. And it was ridiculous. And at the time I was running for national vice president before my term was over, and of course everybody stood up and Wayne, all that good stuff. They finally subsided. And I'm up on this third tier of this platform. And I look down about where Ned's sitting. I look down and my dad is there. And he's got tears coming down his cheek. And I start getting mine. And I just looked at Dad and I said, "You proud now, Dad?" And of course he just nodded. And of course everybody erupted again with the tears of joy that they had, understanding what I had just gone through that moment. Just like you all, so many heads shaking, I remember that moment you had with your parents when you knew, God, they're proud of me. They're really proud of me. As I was running up and down the state campaigning and then running up and down the state as a state president, Bonnie can tell you that I slept in our own bed. It was easy to count the amount of nights I was in my own house in my own bed than it was to tell you how many days I was on the road. It was constant. And many, many nights I'm coming home at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm locking the door real quiet. I'm taking the shoes off and put them aside. I don't want to make up Bonnie. I don't want to wake up the kids. I walk down that hall, and there's that room at the end of the hall that I think many of you know about, regardless of what hallway it was. It's that room with that little crack that's open, and that little light is coming through from the nightlight that's in your child's room. And I tiptoe down and I open the door, and my angels are there. Now, during the day with Mom, they were probably hellions. But 1 o'clock in the morning with me, after a long, long day, and maybe sometimes a long week, they were angels for me sitting there. And I would look at them and realize what God had given me, a beautiful daughter, a beautiful son that my wife had given to me. They had a poster in the room, bright stars, rainbow fashion, jump out at you, celebrate, believe it. You are a real find in someone's eyes. Believe it. You are a unique and priceless jewel on the face of this earth. Believe it. God don't make no junk. God don't make no junk. There have been please understand in closing, the people were designed for accomplishment. They were engineered for success, and we were endowed with the seeds of greatness. The only difference between success and failure in life is what each and every one of us do with that water pitcher of life, making sure to nurture those seeds of greatness that God gave us, every single one of us. Don't talk to me about age. I'm 67. Don't talk to me about things that you want to do. You say, I can't do it because I'm too old. Because if you do, I'll stand up here for another hour and I'll tell you stories about Colonel Sanders and Mary Kay. You don't want to sit here for another hour. So don't tell me about your age. There have been 8 billion people on this planet Earth. And there's never been another one like you. With your eyes, Carol. With your smile, Ned. With your smile, Carol. There's never been another one like you. You are special. You are unique. You are a limited edition, a special print. And I love each and every one of you. God bless.
And Wayne, you are such a blessing to us here at Unity of Aliso Viejo. Thank you so much for sharing your Father's Day with us. We are blessed. This part of our service we call our Sacred Walk of Abundance. The law of giving and receiving is a principle understood by all spiritual traditions. We invite you to experience this principle in body, mind, and spirit. As you feel comfortable, please come forward on either side and take an affirmation blessing from one of the crystal bowls. And if you have a financial offering, please place it in the silver plate. If you don't have an offering today, please come forward anyway. Say a silent prayer of thanksgiving, and please do take your blessing. Before we do this, let's speak our offering blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. Amen. Please come forward as you feel comfortable. Seated, our musicians will lead us into a time of meditation.
Father, by your love, I now rest in your eternal arms. Quietly I go within and hear, be still and know that I am God.
Be still. Be still. Allowing our bodies and our minds to relax and be still. The love in this room flows into us as we take a deep breath. We allow our imagination to reflect back on a time that we spent with our father or our father figure, a special time or a place or an event where we felt that loving fatherly presence, that guidance, that protection. As we allow our imagination to just dwell on the details of that memory, we are so filled with that fatherly love. Go deep into that love and enjoy the memory. As we return our attention back to this room, we know that love and those memories are woven into the fabric of who we are. So although time, space, or dimension may separate us from our fathers, their love, their presence, their protection is always with us, as us. And so it is.
Sing with me now, sweep over my soul. Sweep over my soul. Sweep